They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host for tonight, Alo and Lloyd. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Yes, thank you. Yes. No X2 Fly Earth Trimbicki tonight, just me solo. So let's see what's going on in the world. All right, so TKO contracts are wide. The NBA is back. So salute
give
to
me a
that.
hell yeah. What?
Yes, the NBA is back. The Eagles are back too, baby. Eagles are back, baby, too. Eagles are back. Eagles flying high again. Now AJ Brown, I got love for you. I got your jersey in my closet. But fam, I love you. We family. But you need to hit us. This is all love.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Thank you. It's all love, though. You had an excellent game Sunday, but keep that up. Keep that up. And also, we got Halloween Havoc this week for NXT. Looking forward to that. Yes. So, took about a week and a half off. I didn't watch much other than the weekly content. I'm still working on finishing Peacemaker season 2. I heard it ended had a disappointing ending, but I'm looking forward to actually watching that. That's about it. I've not really watched much. I've just been watching a bunch of sports, as you can see behind me. The NBA is back, and just been watching a lot of football lately, but nothing out the ordinary as far as wrestling. But we did have a few things that happened in the world of wrestling. So Mercedes Moné, shout out to Mercedes. Anybody watching this clip, I hope they watch the entire video. Because, of course, you have these people who don't listen to context. So over the weekend, we have Mercedes Moné. She won the the interim ROH TV championship from Mina, and also won the Winnipeg Pro Women's Championship over the weekend. So she is now at 12 championships. And they also teased tonight, well, not teased, but I guess pretty much confirmed that her and Athena, they will be joining forces to enter the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship bracket. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, when it comes to what Mercedes did at Wrestle Dream, I thought they did a really good job what they did with her Wrestle Dream, because she came out immediately after the Chris Statlander Tony Storm match. So I really did like that whole part of it. And the AEW Women's World Championship still being in her sight is actually still really, I think they're doing a good job with that, because she didn't forget about that. Tony Storm's now out the picture. She might see Chris Statlander as a lesser opponent. So I like that whole aspect of it. And I did see that Chris Statlander did interrupt Mercedes' celebration tonight on Dynamite. So that's still going to be a thing. And we have the thing with the tag team title. So Mercedes is also looking for title number 13 along with Athena. Maybe Chris Statlander ruins that for her and Athena, but we are still going to get that Chris Statlander Mercedes Moné match. I'm actually really looking forward to it, because I keep talking about this throughout the entire year. I think Mercedes really has done an excellent job this year. I guess you could say redeeming herself for a lot of people, because last year when she first debuted in AEW, it was not it. It was not. It was not like, we know that that's not Sasha Banks anymore. It's Mercedes Moné, but we didn't know what was going on. It was pretty much unanimous about like, this is awful. But I really think that she's done an excellent job reclaiming that magic that she had when she was Sasha Banks. She's become must-see TV again, and not something you just want to turn off. I'm really enjoying what she's actually doing. And I'm looking forward to what she ends up doing with Athena, and also with Chris Statlander, because I'm also a big Chris Statlander fan too. And I'm looking forward to that match and see how they actually go about this. I really am. Next, because Mercedes, we keep talking about as well, what's going to happen eventually when she kind of drops these titles. What's going to happen? Is it going to be a trickle-down effect? Is she going to have a complete crash out? We don't know. And they kept it going for a long time. So I'm not mad about it, because that was the thing about when she fought Tony before. Me and Eric kept speculating, okay, so if she loses, what's actually going to happen? Like, if she loses, like, she essentially has to lose all these titles in a row. Now, granted, with these titles, they're not televised, so we're not going to see her lose X amount of times in a row. And they're continuing this whole story with Mercedes. She's continuing to win championships, and she's going to continue to challenge for more championships. And the AW tag team titles, that's on her radar, and still the AW women's world title is still on her radar as well. But so with the Mercedes, as I said, she's done an excellent job. Nothing to love here. If I had to vote today, she would be my women's wrestler of the year, because I think she's done an amazing job in AEW this past year. And I hope everybody on TikTok or whoever I clip this is actually watching me say that, because they don't listen. They really don't. But Mercedes Moné has had an excellent year as well. And we're going to talk about somebody else that was affiliated with AEW. Chris Jericho is it's looking like he's pretty much heading back to WWE at this point. So the rumor came, I'm pretty much it's all but confirmed that the next Jericho cruise is already booked, and there is no AEW talent booked for the trip. And speculation is running that Jericho will return to WWE for a retirement tour and a possible Hall of Fame induction. And again, we talked about this a few months ago about Jericho coming back to WWE. When it comes to AEW, I think Jericho did what he had to do. And I said that a couple months ago as well. He did what he had to do. He was that big name, that first big name that wasn't affiliated with the Bucks and Cody and Kenny that signed with the company. He gave his cosign for the company. He was the first champion. He moved them forward. He put them in position. And I think he has done everything that he actually can there. And there's nothing left for him to do there. Because even over the last year, it's like, all right, dude, like this is enough. You know, you've been in prominent roles the entire existence of AEW. I think you've pretty much done your job, and I don't want to say you overstayed your welcome, because he served a purpose, but he's done what he had to do. And I think it's fair for him to now be able to move on and do other things. And WWE is always going to be his home. And the one thing that I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm aggravated about or getting annoyed of, is this whole retirement tour shtick. Now, granted, it's just pretty much been with John Cena, but we also got that with AJ Styles, and we'll get to him in a little bit as well. But for Jericho, it's interesting. Like, I don't know what a Jericho retirement tour would actually look like, because in WWE, does he really have like hated rivals or like big time rivalries? Like, the only real heated rivalry I think not even real heated, but I think in WWE the one you would probably connect him to the most would probably be Benoit. But no, he's not here. And his biggest rivals, like maybe Triple H, he's not competing anymore. He had a couple runners with Shawn Michaels, but I wouldn't think of Shawn Michaels as really a part of his like rogues gallery as far as a rivalry per se. He had some good match. He had a great feud with Rey Mysterio late in the 2008, 2009, but I'm not sure if anybody really even remembers that or even knows about that, because that was a downtime within the company. So I'm not sure exactly what a Chris Jericho retirement tour would look like. Now, it does not have to look like John Cena's. It does not at all. And maybe that's what I'm looking too deep into, that it will kind of replicate John Cena's. But a Chris Jericho retirement tour, I'm kind of over the whole shtick of that. But seeing Chris Jericho back in WWE, I think it'd be really good, because he still has a lot to offer. And WWE has changed a lot in the 6-7 years that he has not been affiliated with the company. So many new faces: Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, who will get to Carmelo Hayes, Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of new faces for him to actually interact with, and we can get a nice retirement tour out of Jericho. Maybe even get that 10th championship reign out of Chris Jericho. So I think it's a lot on the bone for Chris Jericho to actually have in WWE if he does get that one more run. Because I think it is time for him to actually come home and actually have that moment. And so like I said, it's kind of like even though he's been there for years, it's a fresh start because we've seen him in AEW for the last 6 years. So it'll be a fresh start to see Chris Jericho back home in the WWE. And I talked about retirement tours, and we had AJ Styles, shockingly, along with Dragon Lee, become the World Tag Team Champions on Monday Night on Raw, and he had an excellent match with John Cena. At the last pay-per-view, and I was Crown Jewel, and I was a big fan of that match. I did not watch it live, so I was aware of what happened in the match. So rewatching the match, I had a lot of fun. Now, when they started pulling out their friends and their rivalries finishers, it started off flat because, like, for example, like the Coquina Clutch, the Scorpion Death Drop, they're not the most impactful moves. So, like, they'll go over your head of what they're doing unless you're watching on commentary. But I did think that it was a wonderful match. I had so much fun watching that. But AJ Styles, it was also noted that he'll be retiring next year in WWE. We also got the wonderful announcements from Alicia Taylor for John Cena and AJ Styles. So I thought that was really fun. John Cena calling AJ Styles the face that run the place, the face of TNA. I thought that was great. And AJ Styles, he's one of those guys, man. Like, AJ Styles, he's world renowned, but I think we have to kind of ask ourselves the question is AJ Styles underrated? I really think AJ Styles has become underrated because his WWE run alone, I'll put his first 2 years from 2016 to 18 against anybody. Now, after 2018, it's a bit of a dip after he drops the title to Bryan. But those 2 years were phenomenal, no pun intended. The debut at the Royal Rumble hyped this show up. This show was there from AJ Styles' WWE run from day one. So we saw that. And then we saw his rise throughout that year into winning the world title in 9 months. We saw that. He had excellent matches, excellent moments. The John Cena stuff was probably the highlight of his WWE run, even getting those victories over him. I was there for SummerSlam when he beat John Cena. It was great. And I will put that run against those 2 years against anybody's best 2 years in WWE history. And the reason I say underrated is because after that 2018 run, he's pretty much, I guess you could say, stagnant. He might not. I don't think he really had a bunch of noteworthy things to actually do in WWE. He was pretty much lost in the mid card. After that, he won the IC title a couple of times. He had a lot of the stuff about the IC title. It was during the pandemic, so nobody even remembers that. He had that match with Bryan for the IC title in the IC title finals. He had that ladder match for the IC title with Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy as well. AJ Styles has done a lot of good things, and I think a lot of things have fallen under the radar because after those 2 years, his star kind of fell. His star kind of fell down. But AJ Styles was definitely a mainstay in WWE, and believe it or not, he's been there for almost 10 years, which is crazy to believe. And even like the fact that he got this recognition from the WWE fans, and he was known as a TNA guy, and the stuff we did with TNA, I really want to go back and watch a lot of that stuff because I would really love to do an AJ Styles top 10 match list. There's a match I have not seen yet, and if anybody has seen it, please chime in. But there is a triple threat match, I believe it's from Unbreakable, which is a match that's high regard in AJ Styles' catalog. And I'm looking forward to actually watching that because I believe it is available to watch on TNA's YouTube channel. And I will definitely be watching that. But AJ Styles is somebody that we all have to appreciate in being a mainstay in the world of wrestling for the last 20-something years. And even when he gets the opportunity to show, he still is one of the best in the world at his age. So shout out to AJ Styles, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we actually have left with him before he ends up hanging up the boots. All right, so back at Crown Jewel, we had Seth Rollins, he finally beat our strong Black King Cody Raheem Rhodes at Crown Jewel to become the Crown Jewel champion. And during that match, Seth got a shoulder injury during the Coast to Coast. And then next night on Raw, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they attack him, and Seth's written off television a while per kayfabe that Bronson and Braun took him out. And when I saw Bronson and Braun turn on him, I thought, and that injury report came out, it was a major shakeup because there was so much that was around Seth Rollins being the world champion at that point, because we still had stuff with Roman. We still had the stuff with Punk. We still had the kind of the Jey Uso stuff with the bloodline stuff that was still kind of intertwined, and there was intertwined with them. There was so much riding on Seth Rollins as the world champion going into Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, and now it's all over the place. It really is, and he had that much of an impact on what was going on television. And when it comes to the World Championship, I'm not sure where we're actually going to go here. I'm not. It's really crazy how much Seth injury is going to change up everything, and I cannot wait to see what actually happens, because we're going to get a lot of good stuff out of that. We had Adam Pearce. He took the World Heavyweight Championship away from Braun Breaker, as Seth had to relinquish he had to strip Seth of the title. And we had a battle royal on Raw Monday night, and Jey Uso was the one that actually won the Royal Rumble, and he will face CM Punk at Saturday's Night Main Event next Saturday. And when it comes to this Jey Uso thing, I truly think that Jey Uso can become the biggest heel out of this and a huge winner benefiting from this Seth Rollins injury. I really do. Because first of all, we all know that I don't do the crying. So anybody doing that Jey Uso crying,
shut up, bitch.
Thank you. So Jey Uso is going to benefit the most out of this Seth Rollins injury, because me and Eric kept talking about it. I kept saying he's going to turn heel. He really is. He's becoming a different person. That title is having that title changed him. It really did. And in the battle royal, him and his brother, they're fighting for, Jimmy keeps trying to save him and stuff. So it's down to him, Jay, and LA Knight, and Jay eliminates them both. And it's kind of like, I could see Jimmy saying, you know what, I would have did the same thing, because it's all every man for himself, and this is for the heavyweight championship of the world. So I don't blame you. But Jey Uso has the potential to come out of this shining. He has, because he's been beefing with CM Punk for weeks here. And he will probably, in this match with CM Punk, go to all limits to regain the heavyweight championship of the world, including heel tactics, including trying to use foreign objects, cheat to win, anything, any and everything. And we've been saying for the longest time, what's next for Jey Uso? And the fact that immediately after he won the championship, the crowd turned on him, because the crowd has this weird thing of wanting something so bad, but then when they get it, they turn on you. And immediately when Jey Uso won the heavyweight championship of the world, the fans turned on him. But now they're booing it. He's getting somewhat booed, because even after he won the battle royal, he didn't get much of a reaction. And they can build off of that and make him a huge heel. He can go from the biggest babyface to the biggest heel in the company and benefit from this Seth Rollins injury the most, in my opinion. I truly believe that. And then also we have to get when Roman comes back. That's a whole nother story that they actually tell. Because I personally could have the way I would have booked this, I would have possibly have Jimmy win and get pissed off at Jimmy and possibly cost Jimmy the heavyweight championship of the world. But they didn't do it that way. I can't wait to see how it plays out because I can see exactly what Jey Uso is going to. I can see exactly the tactics that Jey Uso is actually going to pull to win this match because he's been hell bent on regaining his championship. So Jey Uso may come out shining out of this entire thing, and I cannot wait to see what actually happens when it comes to Jey Uso in the heavyweight championship of the world, and including the bloodline, because this is going to be fantastic in my opinion, and this is going to be so good for him. And like I said, this will be his saving grace because he needs a fresh start, something fresh. He really does. So that's everything I have for you guys tonight. So as always, subscribe to this YouTube channel, thumbs up, anything for the algorithm, turn your post notifications, and subscribe. And Ringside Collectibles, use code MMadness, save 10% off your order. So that's it for the show, guys. I'm Alo Aaron Lloyd, and I will see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a SummerSlam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, it ain't shake the land off the sale. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all off the smell.